Hello, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome. Welcome back if you have. My intention is unity and oneness in the highest levels of love light. I'm in my car, my office in the clouds. And I really just wanted to kind of tune in and see what the guides have to share right now. And I'm going to set my intention potentially to talk a little bit about some of the issues people are experiencing this week. This is the week of March, for the first week of March. It's a little crunchy. I said in my last video the same thing. Like the energies are a little crunchy, but there's this beautiful underlying softness to it as well. But I want to see what the guides have to share, so let's play. So as we streamline our light and we look towards what it is we are focusing our light on, it creates a bigger charge and a greater potential for what is up ahead. For we cannot see what is up ahead until we get out of our head or get ahead of ourselves, so to speak. For many of us are holding back our accomplishments by focusing on what we have or have not accomplished. Many of us are viewing reality based on a distortion that we have been taught to believe is the way in which we weave and create our reality. And this is to be understood that this is not a judgment, nor is it a wrongdoing from one perspective. For all that has been done is actually being undone to some extent, yet it is causing many of us to feel like we are coming undone. For the world in which we have been focused on, focused into, focusing our energy and tuning into is unraveling. And from another perspective, it has already unraveled and revealed underneath it what is more than what we have been told. And this may sound cryptic in the way that this message is being shared, but for those who are listening, for those who are tuning into the bigger picture, we all feel the energy has shifted so drastically and so dramatically that things cannot, or surely cannot be. Sorry. Why are you calling me Shirley? Do you guys remember that movie Airplane? It's such an old movie. Sorry. Surely this cannot be the old reality. Yet simultaneously, surely this cannot be the new reality. This is not what I signed up for. And we would venture to say that it is a matter of opinion, not a matter of fact. For in fact, we are in a different level of reality. We are in a different understanding of reality, yet not everyone is matched up with this frequency. This is causing a schematic overload, one might say. This is causing a fraying or a fray of energy that is looking for synchronization, that is looking to sync itself up. So what I'm seeing is a frayed, like electrical wire. And if you guys have ever seen an electrical wire that is frazzled at the ends, but what I'm being shown is it's like a synapse, right? And I've been talking about this a lot, as in we've got these synapses that are branching out and they're looking for more branches to hook up with. But because it's not matching up, it's a lot of frayed emotions, frayed sensitivity, a lot of heightened energy that really, what I'm kind of being shown, has no place to go yet. So for some of us, we are finding difficult to find balance in this activity or this moment in time. Yet this is very temporary for many. Many of us are already on the precipice of something masterful. Many of us are already on the precipice of something gargantuan, we might say. Play on words. And so we are feeling a mix and a merge of not only the charge that we are putting out, the charge that we are receiving, but we are also recognizing that it is the old sliding in and out of bounds with the new. And so we are bound to feel as if we are unable to fully understand or wrap ourselves around what we are witnessing unfolding. For as we all fall down, I'm seeing this as a play on words. Ring around the rose. We begin to ask ourselves, what are we representing? What are we representatives of? What is the representation that we wish to bring through? And who are you to represent me, to reprimand me, to bring a representation to the new me that is fully advancing beyond potential representatives that are representing an old democracy. Okay, I just want to do a different flow. I don't know if you guys caught that because this is part of the subject matter that's coming up. But this isn't just about political realms. This has to do with the new view of the human, those that see through new eyes to see, those that have been reborn again, those that are being born again. And I'm hearing from boring to alive. It's alive. And those who are still asleep at the wheel. And there are those who are still asleep at the wheel. I'm being shown somebody in a car on a movie. If you ever watched how movies are made and they're driving a car and it looks like there's a lot going on, but it's really just a fake set. Like there are people that are still driving their car thinking that they're in this particular reality. And everybody else is like knocking on the window like, hey, you're not moving. You can get out of the car now. It's actually that movie's over and done with. And people are like, no, I got to get there. You know, they're still playing out that same movie. We are on the threshold of something so massive and so beyond our human perspective, from one perspective, but from a broader perspective, it's beyond anything that we could actually recognize, because the lives that many of us have held, that have held dear to us, cannot match up with what is around the corner. We say this not to bring up fear, for this is actually a beautiful time in our lives. And so it is important to understand that while we may not be able to feel that we can see things with clarity, clarity is coming, and clarity will come for many who have come here to bring clarity, for many who have come here to assist in the new democracy, in the demolition, if you will, of the old and the reconstruction of the new. Yet it is not necessarily going to happen from that view. And I'm being shown, like, when we use certain words, like we think of demolition, it's like, oh, that's scary. When we think of construction, we might think of it as messy, and it is scary and it is messy, but it's like our ideas and our perceptions of how reality is built, we don't have the capacity. We will, or some of us do, but a lot of us don't necessarily have the capacity to understand how that works in a new system, in a new dimension, in a new manifold, is what I'm hearing. And so we would invite you to be that which you wish to be. We would invite you to see with open communication Meaning, let go of the need to communicate with precise clarity, but recognize that everyone is experiencing this in their own way. If you feel confused, one might say, I'm having a moment of confusion. I'm having a moment of self-doubt. I'm having a moment of sadness, and I'm not sure where to go with this, or where this came from, or how I should process this. And because each and every one of us holds a certain plethora of keys, we will be able to pull out our keys and assist our brothers and sisters in this new reality with what it is that we have each come here to represent, to experience, to present, to unfold. We are essentially all learning together, and some have mastered some experiences and some have not, and we can each and every one of us grow and learn together in these new experiences. And so the master is always the student, and the student can oftentimes be the teacher. So it is important to recognize that within each and every one of us, and not view another as less important or less than masterful in these moments. For that is the true sign of the master, when we can see our fellow humans as being our equal, even if that person is asleep at the wheel. This is difficult. And at times it will take deep moments of self-control, self-reflection, and channeled self-expression, meaning pulling through the master within, our higher self, pulling through from our inner heart chambers in a moment of I'm hearing conscious clarity through coherence. So the only way this is going to happen is clarity. So what I'm being shown is, in that moment, the only thing that might be clear to us is that this person needs a hug. We may not have any of the answers. We might have more answers to help them. But the only clarity that in some of these cases we're going to have is that, boy, this person's having a rough time. I'm just going to buy them a cup of coffee. I'm going to bring them a gift. I'm going to, whatever it might be. And that's the clarity. I'm being shown like the multiple dimensions of these types of messages. Like, a lot of us are looking for answers, and we are being gifted opportunities to be the answer. We may not know all the answers. We may not know what's going on in our own lives. We might be in complete upheaval, but we might have perfect clarity on how we can help our neighbor. We might have perfect clarity. I'm just laughing because this is as much a message for me as it is for anyone I'm sharing this with, because I got to tell you, these guys sometimes, and gals that are asleep at the wheel, definitely make it challenging at times to find that moment of compassion. I am just as, I struggle with this sometimes too, and I have to catch myself. And when I have that moment of like, oh, they're asleep at the wheel, it isn't necessarily my job to wake them up, because they're still going to believe they're going to crash the car, even if that car is on a fake lot. They believe what they're going to believe. And I am here to be the key holder in my own way, that they can either choose or choose to, or choose not to feel what I have to share, listen to what I have to share. I'm not going to go up to someone and say, hey, you're asleep at the wheel, because that doesn't wake them up sometimes. What wakes them up is that moment of compassion, where I just hold space for them, or I give them something that changes their idea, their perspective, changes their frequency in such a way that wakes them up. Even if it's only for a split second, if you have 20 split seconds or 24 hours of split seconds. I don't know how many seconds that split second really actually, but you know what I'm saying. Then that adds up to something that's a lot more than zero, right? It adds up to more opportunities to expand, grow, activate, wake up, whatever we want to call it. So each and every one of us holds this key, and each and every one of us is a walking, waking opportunity for those who are walking. I'm hearing The Walking Dead. I'm hearing just waking up. I'm hearing have been awakened for a long time but are going through something difficult. And I'm hearing all of that is I'm hearing equal. And then I'm hearing E equals MC squared. Oh, there's play on words with that. I don't know if I have the bandwidth right now to put that together. Yep. Tune into the higher self. Oh, I'm seeing that's another valid. So while sometimes we might have the answers, I can go into flow sometimes and just give off these answers off the top of my head. Sometimes I'm like, where did my guides go? Where's my higher self right now? Because this is not able to communicate. I'm not able to say what it is I'm trying to say. And that's that moment I can say, you know, my communication skills are just a little off today. Could you please be patient with me? Or could you repeat that? Or thank you so much for your patience and understanding. That's my clarity. I'm having a moment of clarity about not having a moment of clarity, and that's okay too. And so we are the walking opportunities for those in all categories that are being invited to see this opportunity. For in this moment, this is I'm hearing opportunistic way of giving access to those who have lost their way, just by being the human that is here to play. And as we do this, we play a new tune, we play a new song, we play a new game, and we strike a chord. We create the match that allows others to find their own way, their own match, their own way of matching up with something that is, I'm hearing, important to them, accessible, creative, helpful. And I'm also being shown that this also works the other way. So it can also mean it's time for us recognizing that maybe someone is not, it's giving us an opportunity to see clarity that maybe that person that's asleep at the wheel doesn't want our help, doesn't want to do anything else but drive in that imaginary car on that imaginary road. And sometimes I'm being shown that we just have to walk away. And I'm hearing, well, I'm seeing a different, anyways, but I'm just being shown walking away is sometimes the answer. That's our clarity. It doesn't mean that it has to be permanent, but letting go of the expectations about it and just working on what we do have the ability to. This is part of how we are able to construct the new without, I'm seeing the demolition. So we are the demolition crew, but we're also the construction crew. And what I'm being shown is this helps us not to get lost in the rubble. That I'm hearing Barney Rubble. I'm thinking of the Flintstones. The Flintstones. Gosh, I'm going back to some really old shows here, but they're all relevant, right? But it's like, so not getting lost in that is important, because as things fall down, as things fall apart, we will have moments where we are having difficulty finding our own charge or getting out of the way of the that which is falling away. And so we are being called to continually be in a place of observation, of observance, of observing our vibration, of feeling our experience as we tune into all of this from a very human and yet also expanded perspective, the new human, the new dimensional perspective, the new everything. We create such a massive charge that it offers an unexpected surge. If everyone were to do this, it would create such a ripple effect and such a momentous, I'm seeing curriculum and surge that no, it's almost like it would create such a massive charge that there is no room for error. It is on the right track. I'm just being yeah. So let us find ourselves. Give us the opportunity to find what it is that we think we need to find. Yet at the same time, get out of the need to define what that looks like for someone else. And as we do this, we find ourselves, like I'm just saying, we're finding ourselves. We're right here now in this body, in this reality, but we're redefining what that is. And we're redefining what that is. And we're merging these different streams so that nothing falls apart. Like basically what I'm seeing is it's expanding at the seams, and as things expand, we're like, before they can totally break apart, we're weaving them in, and we're like, all right, I got you. So this expands, and those seams are like, ah! And we're weaving in and out of those seams, like holding them together and then building around it so that that old stuff can dissolve without a total crash landing. And there's some people out there that want a total crash landing because they believe that's what it's going to take. And from one perspective, that's already happening. And we can, but sometimes what we think needs to happen, or how we think it needs to look, isn't as, I mean, what if, I have a friend of mine, Kat, she says, what if it's something better? And I like to ask that a lot now too, and I've used that for years now. But what if it's better than that? What if we think it all has to explode? And there are some people that need to believe that for whatever reason. They need to believe that I'm going down in a blaze of glory. What's that song? It was from a movie, right? It was like Young Guns. Like it's the wild, wild west right now, you guys. So people are like, I'm going out with a bang. But really, what if the bang, we are the bang. So if we can support this energy a bit more and allow it to support us, it doesn't necessarily need to. It looks like the wild, wild west out there, but I'm just showing us walking off set. You guys have ever been out to old Tucson? They film a lot of old movies there. It's like you go there, you spend the day, you watch some gun fights. That's what it looks like. And you guys, I'm not going to try to take away from what it looks like, but the way that my guides are showing it is we really are creating our reality. So it doesn't always have to look like that. And I keep hearing it's a temporary reset while everything. And when I was shown the schematics, what I said at the beginning of this, it was like puzzle pieces that weren't quite matching up. So now we are coming in, creating new lines so that the puzzle pieces can match up, so that it's not complete disarray. And I'm back to that array, the fray, this whole time. This allows the puzzle pieces to then, I'm just hearing you create new lines. And you guys, again, this has to do with the earth. This has to do with how big the earth is. This has to do with how much land is available to us. It's a whole other video. I've been writing that for years, and then finally I'm starting to hear some people talk about it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good to have a little validation sometimes. So I'm going to end on this note. So much love, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, supporting one another. Thank you for supporting this channel. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, thank you so much. In love and light, guys. Namaste.